Hello and welcome to the Mitre10 Cup Round 2 wrap-up brought to you by DrivingMaul. Hi, I'm Paul behind DrivingMaul, the best place for rugby predictions and opinion. So, on Thursday night, we had Counties Manukau hosting Bay of Plenty, and Bay of Plenty down them 17-22. And that's pretty impressive because Bay of Plenty now have beaten Counties Manukau from the Premiership and also Taranaki from the Premiership as well. So 2 wins, two sort of cross-conference wins for them. Puts them in a very good position. You've got to say they are looking very strong for being promoted into the Premiership this season. After that, then we had Otago versus Hawke's Bay, and Hawke's Bay racked up their second win on the South Island after beating Southland last weekend. And when Otago and Southland came the bottom 2 teams in the Championship last year, it shouldn't be too much of a surprise, really. Otago lost to Wellington in the first round, and both sides were looking to try and get that first win of the season. Southland didn't manage it last year at all. Remember, they didn't get one win in that one. Then we had the Ranfurly Shield Challenge game on Friday evening, which was Taranaki versus Manawatu, and Taranaki came out and played very well to win 41-21. Basically, Manawatu just couldn't keep hold of the ball, and then in the second half just found they couldn't exit at all. But let's have a quick listen to the losing coach about his views of the game.
So here after the Shield competition, and basically your own errors let you down, or were a bit struggling that sort of towards the end of the first half, really.
Oh, I think right the way through the game. We just couldn't put pressure on and, coughed the ball up in many different ways. So, short of just handing it to them. We were innovative in the way we made errors too, so can't argue with that.
But in that sort of the first 20 minutes when you got into their half, you did get points, so you certainly could score, but there's a problem of just getting out your own half.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't exit well, and we didn't maintain pressure in their end of the field as well. So, but we showed you did right. A couple of tries there, and we were in it, but couldn't maintain that.
And then, pretty much like last week, showed your fitness to come back in the last sort of quarter as well. Still.
Yeah, we had the carrot there, just trying to get 4 tries for championship points. Couldn't quite manage that due to errors right at the end. But the boys are not unfit. They've got some ticker as well, so they keep going.
They do, yeah. They tried right to the end, and no one. And also, as you say, you're one of the fittest sides in the tournament, so that'll help you towards the later end of the season as well, hopefully.
Well, we just got to maintain the squad overall fitness. As far as injuries go, we had a few of those again today, so they're starting to mount up at this early stage of the season. But yeah, long way to go yet.
Cool. Thank you very much, and have a good trip home. Thanks.
So you can see the coach really not happy with how the errors the side made, and also the fact that, and also it gives us a bit of a warning there that some of these squads aren't that deep, and if they lose certain players, they're going to be a bit stretched. So injuries could play a key part in their season going forwards. Here's the winning coach from Taranaki.
Hello, and here we are after a successful defence of the Ranfurly Shield, and you must be happy that with how the team played.
Yeah, well, look, it's been probably a bit of a challenging week after Bay of Plenty taught us a good lesson over in Rotorua. So, yeah, look, we've worked really hard this week. Obviously, reviewed pretty well following that loss, and focused on a few solutions, which we saw tonight. So, yeah, pretty happy with the boys.
And they managed to also get score on the board first and kept their heads in front the whole time, so must be so happy that they sort of controlled the pace of the game as well.
Yeah, I think so. Look, I think definitely for the first half, we certainly did. Probably the second half was a little bit patchy. I thought Manawatu played some really good rugby in that second half block. So yeah, something we'll certainly review come tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, you forced them to pressure them into errors, especially in that sort of around half time. Which gave you the territory. Your scrum got on top and you got points. But perhaps something that we saw in pre-season as well, sort of fading towards the end. Oops, there go the lights. Fading towards the end of the game. a bit of fitness to work on?
Yeah, look, I don't think it's fitness. It's probably more combinations. And it's us working on that during the week and making sure that people are really clear on their roles, etc. We've got a really fit group. We've got a great trainer in Adam Hay, and we get a lot of PBs in the gym and whatever else. So not fitness, probably just more combinations and familiarity for the players.
Cool. And perhaps a bit of a left field one, but how does it feel being sort of younger than some of the players you actually coach?
Someone said that to me the other day. I played with Jared Hoyata. I think he's 1 year older than me. Kane Thompson might be 2 years older than me. Look, I'm used to it. I was my first head coach role at my club. I was 28 then, and there were a couple of 40-year-olds in there. So it's it's you treat people how you want to be treated, and you respect people, and it doesn't matter how old you are.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've been coaching for several years. It's not like your first year out away from playing, but yeah, you still are a young coach. And yeah, congratulations on the Shield win.
Yeah, thanks so much. Cheers.
Thanks for your time.
No worries. Thanks. Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
So there you go. Clearly happy with the Shield win and turning things around after the Bay of Plenty game there. And yeah, a bit of fun at the end there about talking about his age. As I say, probably one of the younger coaches in the Mitre10 Cup, taking over from Cooper last year, obviously. Heading on into Saturday, and then Canterbury versus Wellington. Canterbury won it 27-20. Quite a few disappointed Wellington supporters I've talking to today. Thought they really could have got up over that one, and a lot of feedback on sort of Twitter and YouTube about my prediction that Canterbury would win this one. That I was going more on history rather than actual current teams. And they said man for man, Wellington are perhaps the better side, but perhaps combinations and being together showed there. And then Waikato versus North Harbour. North Harbour's second 1 point win over a championship team. They won that 28-29. But to be honest, there was a bigger margin than that for North Harbour, because they scored at the death to make it a 1 point victory. And let's hear from the winning coach.
Hello, so here I am with Tom Coventry, the head coach of Harbour Rugby. So in that first half, with the wind at your back, you managed to weather some pressure, and that kind of having that clearance kicking and really kind of got you out of jail a couple of times.
Yeah, it was a good kicking with the wind behind us, but I suppose the old adage was when the wind behind your back, you need to score a few more points. I thought Waikato defended well. We probably kicked a lot of ball away, and that's because the wind was quite strong, obviously, but we weren't able to really capitalise on the amount of ball we did have.
So was the plan to play more of a territory tactical game that first half? Because that's what it kind of looked like.
Yeah, we wanted to use the wind, but we were making big yardage with our kicking game, but obviously the Waikato line was able to function and win enough ball to be able to put enough pressure back and hold ball for a long period of time as well. So, yeah, no, it was a matter of just being patient and wearing them down a little bit until they opened up a bit in the second spell. Yeah,
because they managed to make some good clean breaks in that first half, but you won the breakdown battle and turn over the ball, which I think was also a key thing for you there.
Yeah, there was a couple of key cover tackles too. I think Brent Gatlin made one just before half time, which was pretty crucial, and Siva Reese made a breakdown the right hand touch. So we did defend well when they did get him behind us. But it was a pretty close game, and I'm sure they'll be happy with a couple of bonus points that they got off the back of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you must have been a little bit worried when it was those 21 unanswered points. But like last week, they faded. Were you expecting to run them off the park?
We've been working pretty hard on our fitness this time of the year. We've got 4 games in 30 days, which is in this competition is a bit of a luxury, and then we go into 3 games in just over 12 days. So we need to be doing most of the work now. So we have got a reasonably tough conditioning block to get through before we basically take the foot off the pedal and cruise into that what we call the Storm Week in the Mitre10 Cup. So it's coming. So we are working pretty hard. And that might show a little bit, and possibly the way we're playing. But it's a funny competition. You've got to be able to manage your squads through this period as well. So we know what's coming. We just got to work on them at the moment. So we might have to just back off them a little bit in the next couple of weeks.
Well, yeah. Well, congratulations. That's 2 wins to open the season, which has got to be a good start. You must be happy with that then.
Yeah. Look, we're happy to be winning at the moment. This competition is about winning. Obviously, performances and winning are what everyone's after. But we hit enough good rugby today to be proud of a 20-30 minute spell, but not enough for us to, be, I suppose, title contenders at the end of the season. So we need to make sure we're getting better and improving every week.
Yeah, it's a sign of a championship side is time that wins when they're not playing so well. So you never know. Maybe, just maybe.
You never know. We'll keep working on it. See if we're better next week. Okay.
So thanks very much for your time. Cheers.
Okay, bye-bye. Cheers.
So yeah, clearly not happy with his performance, but happy with the wins that they've got so far, which are very important to them. So yeah, so good for Tom Coventry. And here's John O'Gibbs from Waikato.
Here I am, John O'Gibbs, the head coach of Waikato. So in that first half, you got quite a few clean breaks, but playing against the wind, you just couldn't really hold on to the pill.
Yeah, they certainly, it almost felt like sort of 39 minutes of defence in the first half. I thought North Harbour were pretty clinical with the ball. We weren't able to profit from a few things that we did do, but going in at 8-7 was pleasing. But unfortunately, for almost the last 30 minutes of the game, it seemed like they had the ball and they had territory, and it was just another massive set of defence, really.
Yeah, I thought in the first, you'd be happy with the score, maybe not so much with retention at the breakdown. And then in that second half, you managed to put that sort of 21 points together, which is impressive.
Yeah, certainly. I think there's lots of good stuff there that's we can take forward and be have a bit of confidence with. But I thought the difference between them and us today was just the moments that it mattered. They were more clinical than us, and whether it was an arriving player being affected in the clean out, or a ball placement, or a pass out in front, there's just a little bit of a difference between them and us. Albeit only 1 point on the scoreboard, but for our guys, some good stuff in there, some good effort, and we're just going to dust ourselves off and go again.
Yep. And just you've come from Clermont and Ulster down to here. How are you finding the transition from having your players all year round to having just them in for a short 3-month period?
Yeah, of course it's a little bit different, but it's the same for all the coaches in the Mitre10, so it's not unique just to us or to myself. All the coaches across the board face the same challenge, nature of the calendar and the fixtures, and the shortness of it, I guess. It just highlights the small margins, and there's not a lot of time for big postmortems. You just got to pick a few things out and move on as quick as you can. Also, not a lot of time for a big pre-season either. So I guess you've been changing you're changing your coaching style a little bit when you've come down here? Or? Look, I think it's I'll fit it in with these guys, and I've tried to add value. It's not really about what I'm doing too much. It's about transferring their experiences into more positive outcomes and preparing as best we can and helping with the players. Really.
Great, thank you very much for your time.
Good man. Cheers. Thank you.
So yeah, that's John O'Gibbs' views, and he's trying to fit in, just going down and fit in and working as part of the team, and not wanting to make it too much about himself, but about the collective there in that. And yeah, the moments were the big thing, and they didn't capitalise. And Harbour in that second half in particular managed to. In the first half, as I say, it was only a 1 point lead at half time. So Waikato would have been happy at half time with the score, if not their performance, as I said. And we'll see how they both track from here on. I'm about to move up to Hamilton next weekend, so you expect me to be at more. I'll be more of the Waikato games, and hopefully get more insights from John O'Gibbs and the rest of the sort of playing staff and coaching staff there. Tasman then got their much expected win on Sunday over Southland, 45-24. And Southland, as I mentioned earlier, didn't win a game all last season. Tasman are looking like title contenders after that win over Canterbury in the opening weekend. But that's 2 home games they've had. And you'll have heard the mention there of Storm Week by Tom Coventry. And it's something I heard today when I was having a chat with the manager of Taranaki, that these Storm Weeks are important, and that when they have basically Storm Week is when they have 2 games in the same round, which is what Waikato will be what Taranaki and counties will be having next week in the next round. So they play on the Wednesday night, and they both play again on the Sunday as well. For Taranaki, it's 2 away games. For counties, it's 1 at home and then 1 away. So there are that schedule does play a key part, and who you'll be playing in that Storm week will also become key as well. So you hear that. So we'll have to see. So Tasman 2 home games so far. They've yet to travel, but 2 very good wins. Then to round things off, Northland lost to Auckland 12-28. I thought the Taniwhao had been improving, and that Auckland would, off the back of a couple of poor seasons, wouldn't be that good this season. But perhaps having Ted there, and there's been lots of positivity around Auckland's squad, perhaps we are going to see a resurgence of the Auckland side, who were very nearly relegated last season, just keeping themselves ahead of counties Manukau. So we'll see how that how the rest of the season pans out. But 2 wins from Auckland so far is very good for Northland. A 1-point loss to North Harbour last weekend, and then this loss to Auckland. Disappointing start for them to the season. So quick look at the standings in the Premiership. Tasman are top of the pile with their 2 wins and 29 points difference on 9 points. But Auckland and North Harbour both also have 9 points too. North Harbour, though, remember, both those wins have come against, in fact, for Auckland as well, because Auckland had beat counties and then have beaten Northland. For both Auckland and Harbour, their 2 victories have come across championship sides, and they've yet to face Premiership opposition. So, yes, they sit at the top there, but yet to be really tested. Wellington sit in 4th on 6 points, with Taranaki on 5, Canterbury on 5, and counties in last place on 2 points, with just those 2 losing bonus points. Kansas Waikato was relegated last season. What am I saying? And also, actually, the counties game against Auckland was a Premiership game. Sorry, what a load of rubbish I've been talking. Anyway, into the Championship, Hawke's Bay sits top of the pile on 10 wins. But remember, their wins have been against Otago and Southland, who are the bottom 2 teams in the Championship. Bay of Plenty, on the other hand, 2 wins on 8 points in second place, have beaten 2 Premiership teams. So Bay of Plenty may be second in the table, but perhaps looking at the strongest side down there. Manawatu are in 3rd place on 5 points, and then Waikato in 3rd with their 2 losses. But as Tom Coventry said during that conversation, that they'd be happy with their 2 bonus points. So that's 3 bonus points now that Waikato have picked up. Then Northland, Otago and Southland all have 1 point after their 2 losses. One of the things you'll see is that, in the Championship, obviously, because of the cross division games, there'll be a lot more losses and a lot fewer points than up in the Premiership. So that's how things stand. Next weekend our next round kicks off we have Wednesday night rugby for the first time, and it's the first Storm week as mentioned. So counties Manukau and Taranaki will face each other on Wednesday night. Thursday we have Auckland hosting Waikato, then Wellington hosting Southland on Friday night. Into Saturday, Bay of Plenty host Canterbury. That'll be a big test for Bay of Plenty. I would say they've won 2 cross games against Premiership opposition. Can they make it 3? Manawatu then host Otago, and North Harbour host Tasman. So that's Tasman's first game on the road. 2 unbeaten sides there going head to head on Saturday. Sunday, then the Hawke's Bay will host Counties Manukau. Again, that's a second fixture. Northland will host Taranaki, obviously in their second fixture of the round as well. So it'll be interesting to see how those 2 sides cope with the back-to-back games. Can Northland pick up their first win, and can Hawke's Bay continue being top of the Championship after their 2 wins over Southland and Otago? This is their first home game of the season, hosting Counties Manukau. So that's how things stand. Always up for a rugby chat. Let me know thoughts down below. Please do share, like, subscribe, all of that wonderful stuff. It is much appreciated. Thanks for joining me, and catch you all later.